Have you ever translated some words to English because it feels weird if you say the words in your mother language? The moment when you're sitting there, stuck in your phone screen, thinking about what should you write for an Instagram caption before posting your achievement. Every time you type it in your own language, you cringe. It feels too much to expose, so you switch it to English. Suddenly, it feels fine, casual, and even safe. The first time this happened to me, I ignored it. However, I started noticing a pattern. Every time something felt too awkward, too real, or too vulnerable to say in Indonesian, I automatically switched languages. Then I started wondering why. Why are some feelings too raw to share in your first language? Why does I love you hit differently in Bahasa Indonesia than it does in English? Here is the answer. Your mother tongue is the first tool you use to connect with this world. According to a study published in Frontiers in Psychology, people experience stronger emotional responses when processing words in their native language compared to a second language. This happens because your first language is learned during your early emotional development, when your brain is forming connection between words, experiences, and feelings. Your mother tongue is literally wired into your emotional memory. Moreover, when people speak in a second or third language, their emotions often feel more toned down. In fact, this isn't just cultural, it's neurological. Brain imaging studies show that emotional words in your first language, such as mama or home, activate the amygdala, the brain's emotion center, more strongly than the same word in a second language. Bilinguals also make more rational and less emotional decisions when thinking in their second language. So, when you switch languages, you're also switching emotional gear. Still, this story goes beyond neuroscience. Many of us grow up in Indonesian households where children often heard things like, "You're just a kid, you don't understand." "Shh, don't ask too many questions." Or maybe had their feeling dismissed as too dramatic. Even when parents believed they were teaching discipline and respect, the quiet lesson we learned was that our voice did not matter. So we learned to stay silent in our own language. Years later, speaking in Indonesian can still bring back that fear of being judged. But in English, there is distance and freedom. Saying, "I'm proud of myself," no longer feels arrogant. It feels honest. And you don't feel afraid anymore. English becomes the language where you can actually and you're allowed to be someone. Not because English is inherently better, but because it wasn't the language used to underestimate you. English for us Indonesian people is emotionally neutral. It is a blank slate, and on that blank slate you can finally write your own story. That's why we can set boundaries, discuss about mental health, and advocate for ourselves more easily in English. So, next time you find yourself switching to English because something feels too cringe in Indonesian, don't apologize for it. Recognize it for what it is: power. You're not running from emotion, but you're managing it with tools that generation before us never had. From childhood silencing to adult self-expression. From mental blocks to creative breakthroughs. Your multilingual mind isn't confused. It's liberated. And the future belongs to those who can speak in multiple worlds, who can honor where they came from while refusing to be limited by it, and create boldly in all of them. I am Vara, thank you for your attention and have a good day.